Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Breaking news after President Trump was nearly assassinated over the weekend. A Trump appointed judge who, frankly, has clearly been in the tank for Trump as she has ruled over this classified documents case, has now dismissed the case under extraordinarily insane legal arguments. And I apologize if my voice is a little raspy, if I cough at all. Still got COVID, and it's actually not so mild right now. But let's go to the breaking news. Judge Eileen Cannon, who has been widely criticized for her delay tactics and, frankly, partisan boostering of Trump from the bench, has dismissed the classified documents case against Trump. In a ruling Monday, Cannon said the appointment of special counsel Jack Smith violated the Constitution. I don't really think you need to be a legal expert to know that's not a sound legal finding. Quote, in the end, it seems the executive's growing comfort in appointing regulatory special counsels in the more recent era has followed an ad hoc pattern with little judicial scrutiny. The earth-shattering ruling by Cannon, a judge Trump appointed in 2020, clears away one of the major legal challenges facing the former president. Before we get to the legal reaction, and to be clear, this is going to be appealed to the 11th Circuit in Florida. The 11th Circuit in Florida has already overruled this judge, who again was appointed by Trump, and either is incompetent or just brazenly disregarding the law or reinventing the law to support Trump against this case, which out of all the cases, including January 6th case against Trump, including the Georgia election fraud case against Trump, the New York Stormy Daniels case, as I've said in covering all of these for the last year or two, this one is the most clear cut. If it was anyone but Trump, the person would already be in prison. If you don't know the details about this case, essentially Trump, after leaving on his way out from the White House, took, at this point, hundreds of classified documents, including the details of nuclear programs, including the identities of human sources, i.e. spies. He, by all reports, shared the classified information pretty casually with people who visited him at Mar-a-Lago or his club in New Jersey, Bedminster. There were also photos of these boxes holding classified documents shown in the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago, where people had in and out access pretty freely. It's a pretty cut and dry case, but because Trump has so much money and because he has been hoodwinking and fleecing his supporters into funding his criminal defense, because that's what your money is going to, funding Trump's army of lawyers, he's been able to delay, and he won the lottery in drawing this judge. But her dismissal, conveniently less than 48 hours after he was nearly assassinated, which, again, obviously we're not for. It's horrific that there was an assassination attempt on him, although I'm not going to join in on this kumbaya that the media and the politicians are saying. Let's unite. Let's be clear. Donald Trump, perhaps more of an, actually, forget perhaps, more than any single political figure of the last decade, has been responsible for the rise and the fomenting of political violence through his speech and actions. And the media is soft pedaling that, but that's the reality. Donald Trump has normalized and not so subtly encouraged political violence. That doesn't mean anyone should take upon violence against him or other Republicans, but let's not whitewash that he is responsible for the normalization of this. I could tell you, because I covered this evolution of the Trump circus from 2016. I covered at least 50 rallies during his campaign on the road, all the way to 2020, which I covered his campaign, and obviously his presidency. Let's get legal response to this finding, which again I think will be quickly appealed, and I think will be overturned. And I actually think there's a chance this judge will be removed But this further delays any chance of this case being brought. This case was already not going to be brought before the election, but now this further delays it because obviously this has to be appealed. This is from Norm Eisen, who is a contributor to CNN and legal scholar. This is insane and will not only be reversed by the 11th Circuit, but may result in the ouster of Judge Cannon. Then you have Steve Vladek, who is CNN contributor, Supreme Court of the United States nerd. He says the ruling, which is wrong 6 ways from Sunday, can and will be immediately appealed to the 11th Circuit. To me, the only question is whether special counsel also asked for the case to be reassigned on remand. I think he probably will. Barb McQuaid, who used to be a U.S. prosecutor in Michigan, dismissal of Trump document case may actually be good news for Jack Smith, who can now immediately appeal to the 11th Circuit and ask the case to be reassigned. Cannon dismissed decades of this from Bradley Moss, who is a national security attorney. Judge Cannon dismissed decades of institutional precedent, years of recent rulings on Mueller and Smith, and pretty much the entire premise of the special counsel regulations. Her ultimate complaint, Jack Smith is too independent. And again, I don't think you need to be a legal scholar. This doesn't really pass the smell test. I think this judge, who's clearly partisan, felt that in all of the media and political fixation, rightly so, on the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, she could kind of dismiss this and it will get lost in the assassination attempt and then Trump picking his vice president, which is likely to be announced today. I think it's going to backfire. Again, the case will not be brought before the election. And if Trump is reelected, which if the election were held today, I believe he would win in a landslide. And the Democratic Party, which continues to be spineless, is now backing down from trying to replace Joe Biden, who during a Oval Office address last night, addressing the Trump assassination, could not get through a under 10-minute speech without many stumbles, including, it seems he almost said, "Make America great again." But if Trump gets reelected, this case goes away. He's going to get rid of this case because it's a federal case. His DOJ will dismiss it. So at the end of the day, if Trump is going to be held accountable, the Democrats have to win. The Democrats would have to win the election for this case to continue to see the light of day. And to be clear, contrary to leftists who pretend that, oh, the Democrats have weaponized the judiciary and the Department of Justice against Trump. I'm no Democratic Party stan, but that's BS. The Department of Justice and the FBI, which I rarely really defend, they took every single measure possible for over a year not to bring a case against Donald Trump for stealing classified documents, including of nuclear programs, potentially for allies and enemies, classified documents that list the identity of human spies and many other classified documents. They took every effort to get it back from him secretly, privately, where it wouldn't even leak out into the news, including the National Archives, including FBI, DOJ going down to Mar-a-Lago, communicating with Trump's lawyers. Trump's lawyers even told him towards the end, if you don't give it back, you're going to be prosecuted. They would have prosecuted anyone else and sent in the SEAL team if anyone else, you or I, had 1/10 of the classified documents that Trump had. They took every measure not to prosecute him. But at the end of the day, Trump not only lied to them, but then tried to use his staff to move the boxes and even misled his own lawyers when he told them, yeah, we don't have any more here. And reports say even after the Mar-a-Lago raid, where the FBI seized hundreds of classified documents, there were still documents being found months later, including in Trump's residence, including in his bedroom, in his desk. So listen, to me, what's the bigger legal issue here? What's the bigger legal issue? Trump stealing classified documents and getting away with it, or no Wall Street banker ever going to jail for tanking our financial economy? no fossil fuel company or executive ever going to jail for poisoning our water and air through leaks, among other things. The Sackler family, no pharmaceutical executives ever going to prison for lying to the American people, for pumping them with basically cocaine and pills and opioids. I could go down the list. Norfolk Southern and other criminal corporations that poison communities like East Palestine, never even being criminally charged. So there's a lot worse crimes than Donald Trump and classified documents being stolen. But at the end of the day, just because we have not had justice or an actual legal system for rich fucks like bankers, fossil fuckers, big pharma, and the rest of the criminals capturing our government, because we live in the United States, the United Corporations of America. Let's be clear. Just because there's been no justice against them doesn't mean we should just give Donald Trump or anyone else a free pass. And I would put Hillary Clinton in there too, with her little private emails and server. Donald Trump right now is the luckiest politician, possibly the luckiest human being in America, between, not that it's lucky to almost be assassinated, but dodging that bullet, which even a couple millimeters, he would be dead likely. And now his chosen judge giving him a gift of dropping these charges. Again, I think it will be appealed. I think it will be overturned on appeal. I think this judge will likely be removed. But Donald Trump has the wind behind his back heading into the RNC tonight. And you also have a spineless Democratic Party refusing to remove a clearly cognitively malfunctioning president who, at this point, I put every dollar I have down, cannot beat Donald Trump.